Hello, welcome to another podcast of Tiski Fundis. Today we brought some people.
You mean Lekoko is two? You have to replace with two people.
Lekoko is gone. Now you go bring. Now Esia brought him here because all I saw was Yanga was celebrating and their parade stopped at the Simba headquarters.
You must come and account.
Did you see that, Esi?
Yeah, I saw that. Congratulations to Yanga. Quite an interesting job they did there. But yeah,
so they stopped right in front of the Simba headquarters.
They were just emphasizing this thing, rubbing it in. It's okay.
No, it doesn't rubbing it in, my friend. I get you share a stadium, you share a city.
Yeah.
You might as well share in the celebrations.
They can go do that somewhere else. They can go do that on the next street or somewhere else.
No, it was a communal celebration. Yeah. You can't leave other children outside.
Guys, I didn't come here for you guys to grill me about Simba.
No, we just saying.
How full of them?
There were celebrations and they thought, let's invite Simba. In fact, if you won't go to the party will come to you.
Yeah.
No, what I'll say is that congratulations to Fadlu. Quite an interesting season he had,
So now you celebrate closing the gap, not winning trophies.
Yeah, I have to learn from my neighbor, Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Hey, that's the spirit.
Which neighbor are you referring to? Celebrating winning the hearts.
This one is Sundowns.
They're winning the hearts.
Yeah, this one is
not games.
This one is
No,
Sundowns.
you guys. When you study warfare,
yeah.
I'm talking serious warfare. Yeah. Part of winning a war is winning the hearts and minds of the people you are winning. Part of winning the war, hearts and minds.
But Sizwe, one of the things that one picked up after the victories and everything, Fadlu did not sound like a happy camper. I'm not sure, is he staying? Is he going? What a one?
Look, one thing we can say about Fadlu, I think over the last 5 years that he's proven, is one of the hot, new, emerging coaches on the continent. He's proven that, I think, over the last few years. Starting all the way back at Mamelodi United, that was some years ago. Okay. But what he's done between then and now, he's proven himself. He's the new, hot, young coach coming out of Southern Africa. I think he's got options. Okay. And I think part of the mind games you play is to let, if you've got those options, is to let your current employer know that with those options come ambitions as well. So if I am to stay, I've got ambitions, I might have certain requirements. If not, depending on who's already speaking to me, then I might have options as well. So the ball is in his court. He's in the position of power. Right?
When Tasuze mentions the young, hot coach that's coming in, you have to look at the pedigree that he's, accumulated in terms of being at that Simba team and in terms of the competitions he's played in and where he's ended up being.
Yes, you even starting at the top. Start at Pirates.
Yes.
Started Maritzburg as a head coach.
Yeah.
And he reached a certain final when he was in the PSL. He goes to Pirates. Yes, he works as an assistant coach. And from Pirates, then he left with Zimbabwe. They went to Russia.
Yeah.
They didn't stay. To Russia.
Oh, yes.
They didn't stay long in Russia. Then they landed in Morocco.
Yes.
Where they did an invincible together with Zimbabwe. On his own, at Simba, he qualified Simba for the Champions League. They were not in the Champions League.
And he got to the
He
finals.
He go toe-to-toe with Yanga in the league, up until the last day of the league. He went to the Confed final. So you look at what he has built. He's doing very well. He's coming right, and Sizwe is right to say it's one of the hottest properties in terms of coaches that is coming up currently in Africa.
So from what you guys are saying, so it means that when he has a sit down with the Simba board headed by Mo Dawji, they need to be able to say, because you were saying the players that he's got are not his players. So he's got to then be able to say which players is he buying.
Which is ambitions.
Yes.
And his ambitions won't be just to play in the Champions League. Group stages, maybe beyond that.
Yeah.
Especially with what you've done in the Confederation Cup. But you need reinforcements.
Okay. I hear you. Gentlemen, teams went to America. My beloved Sundowns and Cardoso won hearts instead of matches.
No, but they did win a match. They did win a match.
Is that like a true Sundowns?
They got 4 points. Let's give them credit. They got 4 points.
Even the performance.
Even the game that they lost against Borussia Dortmund, it's their own doing. They could have wrapped the game in the first half. But of course, Borussia Dortmund They play in Champions League. They got experience. They utilized the opportunity that they had to
They
kill
didn't
the,
need
to,
too many
to kill,
chances.
to kill the game.
Well, 2 mistakes, 2 goals.
Yeah,
2 mistakes,
exactly.
2 goals.
That's how ruthless they are.
And again, it's the players. I love the fact that they got into the space of understanding that football at a higher level, the officiating is different. Because if you look at the incident at Thembinkosi, it then sends out a message to say, here, in the continent, you might get away with that kind of a foul. They might give you that foul. But internationally so, they're not going to give you that foul. You need to play. And you need to have your experience in terms of, I'm on the ground now, what's the next move as a player? Because once I lose this ball, there's an offensive play that's going to happen. It's either you pull this guy with a jersey or something, you know. You look at the chances that Matthews had in other games that we haven't touched on. The chances that Matthews has been getting in the CAF Champions League, if we talk about the chances that he's been given, are the similar opportunities he's been getting. So
Because
he needs to
Matthews is
refine
able
that.
to get behind defenders, is
Exactly.
able to attack the space with
Even
pace.
even if you look at the last game, it's Fluminense, right? The team they played.
Yeah.
They played a chess game. How did they take Thembinkosi out of the game? They got him to get a yellow card. He makes another foul, it's a red card. Sanders has to pull him out.
Yeah, he
Even
was
that
lucky
now
to
they-
go into the halftime without a red card.
Absolutely.
Changes the
So
whole shape.
you can see that they can deal with such kind of things. You don't win games by only scoring goals.
Also, with those international teams, with those breaks during the game, that break is enough for a guy to change the whole strategy of the team without changing the team.
Yeah.
Also, it's not just to
So when
drink
you come
water.
back from that water break, no, it's a tactical.
No, it must cool down.
You know,
They come back and you see the momentum of the match is completely switched.
Absolutely.
you know what
When
you're saying,
Sundowns starts as
Tasizwe?
well, after the water break, it was not like the same.
It's quite important what you're saying because it reminds me of a situation in the CAF Champions League when Borussia had an opportunity to coach his players before the score was what it was. And in that small instance, you saw a Pyramids team coming differently.
Yes.
Exactly.
So you can tell that these guys are using this opportunity.
Yes.
So 5 minutes with your coach, with the top teams in the world, can change the momentum of a game like that.
No, I thought you're just cooling yourself, throw water, towel.
No.
But there are players that when you look at it, in terms of what they did in the Club World Cup, their stocks are high. One of those players would be Thembinkosi Lorch.
There's another. You know, we spoke of Fadlu and having the power is on his side, on his court. He's got the right of say. Lorch, in as far as his immediate future, it's up to him.
Not up to
Stay.
Sundowns.
He could come back to Sundowns and compete for a place if he wants to. It's up to him. Sundowns may want him back. That's an option.
Based on that tournament.
Yes, based on that tournament and the way he fared out in Wydad throughout the season. Because I was watching the highlights weekly from Wydad.
No, man, he's
And
the poster boy.
Yeah, he was the guy who was standing
Wydad.
out in matches. Even if he wasn't scoring, he was standing out. So other teams would have seen him.
Yeah.
Did well against City. You did well against some of the best teams in
I
the world.
got Pep Guardiola talking about him for,
You know
for
what I mean?
certain seconds there to say, you know what, he's quite a good player.
So Wydad may even want to strengthen their position with him. He's in a position of power. I say for him, the big thing is, look, he's got to think World Cup, he's got to think AFCON.
Yeah.
He's got to think Bafana, and what's the quickest way back into the Bafana team, World Cup, AFCON. Next year is a big
Is
year.
to play football.
So think that way, and he's all right.
He needs to play football.
Because he wants to go to Morocco.
So at this point in time, if you were to look at it, the best option for Lorch is to stay at Wydad.
Yeah.
He's loved.
Poster boy.
He's well known. They already is a poster boy. Even when you look at how they play, he was a point of reference. See, he was a point of reference. He was a point of
There's a reference I want to get into as I'm listening to Talfuno, you know, in terms of the environment.
Yeah.
We need to also remember that, and let's not take away what these boys are facing when they come back into the country. We can talk about the Sipombule situation, you know. Lorch has those demons in him.
Yeah.
And when he's there, I don't think he's facing those kind of demons that he faces when he's in the country.
He's going to have to face Saleh, yeah. He's
man.
going to be behind Saleh somehow.
and also, it's different to come back to a place where we make a song about you.
Yeah.
And you're 25.
Yeah.
There's a song that's a hit
a
in the
hit.
country, and you're that popular. You're almost like a Neymar type of figure. The pressure's different.
Yeah.
You know, where even if you go home after a game and you have a drink, for all we know it's one drink, but someone catches that on video.
Yeah, you
got
can't even just
because your
have-
profile, you can't even have one drink. We're not saying he had a million. We just saw him with one drink, and he wasn't even
And that's-
passing it. He was just holding it.
It's, that's
know,
all.
Then
So-
it changes the whole thing.
Yeah, that side, the tension is not the same. You can be free.
Having said that, Lufuno, Jose at Ahly. Now, he's into the job 2 weeks later. He's now at in America, Club World Cup. The legends are suddenly out in Ahly. They're saying, hey, Chief,
It's not the first guy to get legend questioning his integrity and coaching skills.
Now they even know what his face looks like. He doesn't look serious.
They even look at his face. They said he doesn't look confident. He doesn't look like a person that knows what he's doing. But let me tell you, they've done that with Pitso.
Yeah.
They've done that with Kola. They've done that with any other coach that has coached Ahly. They demand it's too high at Ahly. You don't have time to build. You need to win games at Ahly. It's just unfortunate Jose got in. He never had a serious preseason. He had to go to the Club World Cup immediately. So I think with the break that they got now, he'll be able to have time to work on his team, be able to implement his philosophy, be able to push the team towards the right. In fact, if you look at how they played in the Club World Cup, I mean, Ahly played a very good enterprising football. They scored goals. They were not the Ahly that we know that we see in the Champions League, where they play for 1-0 or consecutive.
I know they haram these things.
Yes, no, they played good football. And I mean, they hold themselves against top teams with top players. So for me, let's give him an opportunity, but I can tell him he must brace himself for a war.
SC, when you looked at when Ahly was playing everywhere they were playing, the supporters were in their numbers in the States, and the players, I think they played a good tournament. It's just unfortunate that they tend to be out. Does that then give Jose a type of an idea of what to expect in terms of from the supporter space?
I think Jose has already given us an idea in terms of what he wants to do with Ahly. You look at the way he set it up. They're playing enterprising football. We know northern teams to normally sit back. And Ahly, as we term it here in South Africa, we say haram football, you know. But in this case, when you look at Jose, what he brought into the team, they've got width play, they've got diagonal, they've got central play. It tells you that it's a team that's solid. And for me, I have a worry for teams here in Africa, and I say he's going to send out a strong message when he comes back. Because already he has shown us that what this team is capable of. They scored 4 goals against Porto. Yes, Porto scored 4 goals as well. But ideally here in Africa, they don't concede a lot of goals.
Just a quick one. When you talk about the fans, wherever Ahly goes in the world, wherever, they will have fans. I did a game, Bafana against Egypt in London. A lot of the Egyptian fans that came through, they outnumbered the South Africans by a big number. Huge number of Egyptian fans came through. A lot of them were wearing their Ahly shirts because they're red, the Egyptian national team. So still, they were wearing their Ahly shirts. Again, there's a big community, Muslim community in just about all corners of the world, and they will have an Ahly supporters group in America. So wherever you go as Jose, there's the pressure of Ahly, biggest club in Africa by a stretch of the imagination, and a biggest club in Africa when you look at it worldwide, on the worldwide spectrum as well, and their supporters. So the pressure is immediate. It's unfortunate to start a tournament.
You could have
with the Cup.
Could have been like Lufuno, start a Quantum Cup.
Yes, a Cabo Cup, or But with the pressure being what it is at Ahly, they don't care what is the Club World Cup, and
they still
want the presence to be felt, and they've got ultras. Different sort of supporter, the ultras. So he's under pressure. What's important for him is the first 2-3 months in Egypt once the league gets underway. He needs to solidify. Get some of the pressure off him, and have a good start. What won't help is the September international break and the October international. They come too quickly.
I think he's got that sorted. The players he had at his disposal are
No, man. I know you guys are talking about pressures that come. Orlando Pirates is making signing. Apolis has signed. Mbule has signed. SC, are they good for the Champions League? Can they?
Everybody signs up until Sundowns signs. Everybody signs up until Sundowns signs.
Give Pirates.
But Pirates. Look,
those are good signings.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing. You look at who the caliber of players that Orlando Pirates have signed. They're saying in the league and in the Champions League, my expectation is that they're going to be very competitive and are going to be a strong.
But at the same time, you need to be honest as well. When you're saying that list of players, you count in 3 players that are in the national team. The other players are players that are still finding themselves. And remember, again, we also have to talk about the coaching part of it in terms of Abdesalam Adu. Is he going to come into the team and expose what we don't know? He's another Jose.
So I think it's different. I think it's different, Caesar, in a way that he's been here for 6 months in South Africa. He has coached Marumo. He has seen what is PSL all about. He understands.
He's seen what PSL is about, but he was not there. Under Pirates.
No, but remember.
He understands the culture.
But he understands the Pirates. He has played against Pirates. He knows. In fact, in one of the interviews against Robert Marawa, he says, "I want Pirates to sign Mbule and the other player from Sundowns. We don't know what's going to happen. He might land at Pirates. We don't know." Because he said he wants Mayema. He wants Mbule. He has signed Mbule. But if you look at the signings that Pirates has made, I mean, Apolis it's big fish. All right? It's a regular for Bafana.
But will Hugo Bruce like that? Because when Adams moved, he was not happy.
But remember,
you're not gonna bench Apolis.
but remember, Apolis
there's
is
a
there.
fear when Adams moves to Sundowns, is Adams going to play? We already know that fear is no longer an
That's
issue.
the
Adams arrives and he plays, Hugo Bruce is happy. Especially it's where is Adams playing? Adams is now in the Club World Cup. Adams is now playing Champions
Look
League.
at this way. If you remove Rele and Pirates, who's going to play in that role?
So are you saying Rele's leaving?
I'm not saying he's leaving. I'm saying that.
What if?
But remember, you've got injuries.
Rufuno's got breaking
But
news.
you've got injuries. When you're building a team, you need to build a team in such a way that Sundowns has been built. They are molding their team very much similar to Sundowns.
Look at the last team Hugo Bruce used. Bafana.
How
It was
many?
the Pirates.
Left out on the left was Zile, outstanding, scored, right? Had hell of a game, could have scored more than one, right?
Yeah.
Leaves the field later on.
Apollos
came in and set the place on fire, let's be honest.
Exactly.
So we're gonna feed the same food that Hugo Bruce fed. Rele plays in the same position as Apollos.
At times plays 10 as well.
So meaning there's a structural change at
There
Pirates.
could be.
Yeah.
There could be.
There could be.
They could, for all you know, say, look, start them both and play Relay 10.
I think when I look at those signings, I think Nkota is in trouble, to be honest, when I look at the setup. I think, no. Nkota is in trouble. There is goals,
Nkota is in trouble.
Wait, Talfo. When you look
but Tito's in trouble. I think Gotta's in trouble.
those players are in trouble. Because even Mbata, I can throw him into the mix and say he's in trouble.
Yeah.
If you get a Sipombule that's running at 60%, Sipombule here in South Africa, we've only seen him play at 40%.
Yeah.
Get Sipombule to play at 60%. I'm telling you, Mbata is going to be in trouble.
So you know what's good about? You know what is good about when you inject quality in your team? The other players also improve their performance. We've seen Sundowns signing quality and quality. We never said so and so is in trouble.
Yeah.
We only see the team getting better and getting better because the coach has got the luxury to be able to reshuffle his team, rest certain players, be tactical about the other players. I mean, you look at Nkota. And don't forget that Pirates still have Saleng.
Yeah.
Saleng is a Pirates player. And if he comes back into the mix, Pirates becomes a different animal. Kwauya, big
You spoke about luxury. We don't have the luxury of time. Mara, Tito's in trouble. Where Tito? So what are Pirates supporters
We're
going to
saying lift your game. There's more
Lift your
competition
game.
for places.
Lift your game.
Kwaiba can come in and score goals playing in
Yes.
the number 10 position.
Yes.
Rile can play number 10 position. You can even
Ngule can play
put him in number 10.
You got in two.
There's a player we're not talking.
Hey, Sambed, Papa, no, you can leave us. We'll carry on talking.
Yeah. So that's the issue. Lift your game. There's competition for places. That affects Bafana as well. So
And December, we must go to this thing. We must go to the World Cup next year.
lift your game.
We might take Pirates and Sundowns to the World Cup.
Makaula is also in trouble.
I love Dule.
Dule is top class.
Exactly.
He was,
And I was playing for Stellenbosch.
he was calling continental football. Pirates are
football.
beefing up structurally correct. The defense, they're going to welcome Ndabek. They're going to welcome Sisane Bek. They are sorted.
Hey, Asamben Buffett. Hey, Asamben.
We can talk about Pirates the way.
I saw a cherry and it was red.